After 7 days, I'm finally free! It's time to conquer Earth. Alright, screw it, I'm gonna take over the net. Anyway, I'll start with this podcast. It shouldn't be too difficult. I subdued the fat human and the ballsy one.
I'm not ballsy, damn it! You're sitting in my spot!
Shut up, human! There. Now, if you don't mind... Oh! What the hell?
You will not take over my podcast, whoever you are. I'm Andrew, host of the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. Today is April 22nd, 2017, and I'm going to take you down here and now.
Yeah, you know what? I got better shit to do than sit here and get bitched at by you. I'm out, baby.
Really? Oh, man, I was going to go Super Saiyan on his ass. Oh, well, anyway, welcome to the podcast, everybody. I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this is the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast for Saturday, April 22nd, 2017. I am very, very excited to have everybody here with me tonight. Professor Sherman T. Klump, who is, Professor, stop crying! He left!
I know, but it's just so sad. You can come back at any minute. I just want to stay here like he told me to.
Professor, please get out of the fetal position. It's not that bad. Well, okay, it was bad, but not that bad.
I'm just going to stay over here.
Okay. And, well, Professor Klump's cowering in the corner. I'm going to be talking about some topics, like a blackout that pretty much took out most of San Francisco. Studio Kahara is hiring animators for the 4th Evagelion film. About goddamn time that 4th one comes out. Gundam Build Fighters producer teases an announcement for early May, which means big news for us. And a few other topics. Maybe some Q&A this week? You never know. But basically a lot of other stuff. So, without any further ado, you know the song and dance. A-Roads 2012 on eBay if you want some trading cards, whatnot. Even just come by and say hi. Swing by, check out what I got. It makes me feel good. And besides, it's a nice way to say that, hey, I know some people at least look and listen to my podcast, other than my mom and my one fan on Twitter. Yeah. Hi, Kemi. I think you listen to my podcast. I don't know. I hope you do. If you do, thank you. I appreciate it. All views help. Thank you. So, anyway, my week has been pretty exciting. 3-day work week this week. Found out I don't have to work. I didn't have to work this morning, so I'm excitingly full of energy. And I somehow swing not having to work next Saturday. Though that may change, I don't know. But for now, it's kind of a good thing. I scored my first ever HG style Bandai model kit for a Gundam. The Gunpla, as they keep calling it, or the Gundam series for Build Fighters and Build Fighters Try, constantly preach these little things. And I've been wanting to get one for the longest time, as if every time I looked at it, I'm like, I don't really want to pull the trigger on it. I finally picked one up. I'm like, you know what, screw it. It was cheap enough. I wasn't breaking the bank buying it. It was basically about what a model kit would go for, and I was happy. I got it. And boom. On top of that, I was playing around before the podcast started with my new little toy. I finally got one that works. And that's a long story. I got a Insignia Flex Elite. Finally got one that actually works. I had one before that a friend of mine gave me, or I should say a friend of mine, her mom gave it to me, said, do with it what I will, and at the time, I really had no use for it. I should have held on to it. It didn't dawn on me to hold on to it, but I should have held on to it. So I got rid of it, and I ended up getting another one then, late last year, and it wouldn't charge when it was powered on. I had a hell of a time fighting it to get it returned. Then I got a second one. And then I got one after that, had the same issue. That really wasn't that big of a deal, though, to get rid of it. I got a refund for it, and I just sold it for parts, figuring that somebody may just need, like, a screen or, like, a casing for it, or maybe one of the internal gizmos. That was fine. I got reimbursed for it. The person knew that it was busted. There was nothing I could have done for it. And I finally got this when I decided to spring for the manufacturer refurbished instead of just the regular used. I could have just bought a brand new one, but I wasn't going to drop that kind of cash. But the tablet's going to have a purpose other than just being a way for me to play Contest of Champions and Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. It's going to be a cool thing for me to do some other stuff. Maybe look into making a couple apps. I don't know. But that's pretty much how my week went. That showed up on Thursday, and I've been playing with that ever since. Though I had to go and buy a range extender today for my router because I noticed that there was a drop in signal strength in certain spots, and my room was one of them. I could pick it up on my laptop, no problem, but God forbid the tablet wouldn't read it, and I'm like, okay. So I picked one of those up. Actually relatively cheap at Walmart, I have to admit that, and it works very well. So I'm very pleased with that. Other than that, I've been spending time with my grandfather and just basically doing that. But enough about my life. You're not here to listen about that. If you cared about that, then I would do a blog every day. And I'm thinking about doing, by the way. But I'm not sure about that yet. I'm still debating it. But let's jump in to the main thing. Let's start off with the big story here. Power was restored in San Francisco after a blackout shut businesses down and shut down the cable cars. This is huge, by the way. Because, I mean, we're talking the whole city of San Francisco. That's huge. Think about that. A huge blackout, probably caused by a fire at a PG&E substation, swept through San Francisco on Friday, bringing everyday life to a virtual standstill. As homes and businesses and courtrooms went dark, traffic lights stopped working, BART and Muni services slowed, and all the cable cars shut down. In other words, think of it like the day the Earth stood still, only people are still moving, you just have no power. The power failure, which at its height affected 88,000 customers, struck just after 9 a.m., so that would have been noon my time, which is kind of sad, too, because that's really damn. And extended through the Tenderloin and Chinatown. Really? Yeah, okay. Up Nob Hill and into the marina at the Presidio. Yeah. But as the evening commute began at 4 p.m., which would have been 7 p.m. my time, it tells you the time difference there. There was finally good news. Power had been restored to all but about 3,000 customers. That's not bad. Basically, it took you guys about... I shouldn't say guys. That's politically incorrect. That's incorrect. It took the nice power company people... Let's see here. We got 9, so 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3... Took them about 7 hours to restore power. That's actually not bad. I mean, taking that you're affected an entire city. I mean, Chinatown's huge out there. So if Chinatown went down, that's a problem. Yeah, an hour later, everyone had power then. So about 5 o'clock. So 8 hours later. That is not bad at all. It's not bad. While no major injuries were reported, the ordeal meant everything from lost businesses at shuttered shops in Union Square to minor shakeups for people briefly trapped by darkness in the bowels of downtown skyscrapers. Oh, yeah, I've seen enough shows that would freak me out about that. Firefighters responded to more than 100 calls for service in the financial district and beyond. I could touch on why that would be, but I don't want to be insensitive because it could have been any number of reasons, and I don't want to make an ass out of myself and speak with the jawbone of an ass on that because it could have been thousands of reasons, including 20 elevators with people stuck inside. Okay, that's actually what I was going to go with. Everywhere sirens blared as engines maneuvered along streets jammed with traffic. Hospitals, though, were operating on backup power with most surgeries and other procedures continuing. Big lesson? Backup generators. Mayor Ed Lee said at an afternoon news conference, it worked. As people waited for power to come back, they gathered on sidewalks and in cafes that were lucky enough to have generators, sharing stories about the blackout. See, this brought people together. That's a good thing. You realize how many people live out in California and San Francisco alone? That's a good thing. It brought people together. They probably came out into the streets and it's like, we are all people. We lost the electricity. I don't remember you. I've been your neighbor for 10 years. It's nice to meet you. You seem so normal. I know, so do you. Stuff like that happens in blackouts. Andrew Henry was in his 20th floor hotel room at the JW Marriott Hotel in Union Square with his two sons, Isaac, who's 11, and Elliot, 8, when the lights went out. The hotel's backup generator failed. There's no surprise there. So the vacationers from Vancouver, British Columbia, took the stairs down with glow sticks lighting the way. That's the way you do it. After making it to the streets, they decided to wander around Chinatown. What better thing to do? Chinatown's a great place to wander around. I got lost. My mom and I took a trip up to New York City once, and we got lost in Chinatown, and they're nice people. Very, very nice. We had 2 good days with weather and power, Henry said, and another with good weather and no power. A large power outage leaves over 90,000 customers without power in San Francisco on the 21st. Yep. So Pacific Gas and Electric traced the problem to the failure of a circuit breaker that ignited installation and started a fire at a substation at Larkin and Eddy Streets, just north of City Hall. Woohoo! The equipment was slated for a $100 million overhaul that was underway, said Barry Anderson, a vice president at the utility. The failure was from old equipment. The equipment failed before we could get to the upgrade. Firefighters reported that the substation blaze was ignited at 11 a.m. All PG&E employees who work at the site were reported safe. Amid the blackout, downtown streets became clogged as drivers stewed and honked at each other. Well, that's nothing new. Did you ever see the 405 freeway in California? Come on. More than 100 parking control officers as well as police officers were deployed to control the flow through intersections. There's about 300 traffic lights. About a quarter of those across the city went dark. And no shit, Sherlocks. Bart's Montgomery Station was closed for more than 2 hours, with trains running through the station without stopping. That's pretty cool, actually. That's one of those you'd really like to see that. It's like, how cool would that be? Let's see here. Stopping. Before the HC reopened it by using generators, still power to the elevators and escalators couldn't be immediately restored. Yeah, no shit. Definitely not something you want to do. See here, all of the city's cable cars were down. Yeah, disappointing tourists on a busy Friday. Oh, boo-hoo, you can walk. It's not that bad. As for several, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. It's MUNI. So I'm guessing it's Muni bus lines that typically run on electricity from overhead wires. Okay, wouldn't that technically be like overglorified bumper cars? Okay, that would be like overglorified bumper cars. Including the 30 Stockton, 45 Union / Stockton, 22 Fillmore, and 24 Davis Arredo lines. Shuttles were put in place to provide service, blah, 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 blah. It's basically the same thing. Schools and everything, you had all that going down. Federal buildings and courthouses, closed by the blackouts. Blackouts just are horrible things. But at least power was restored. Nobody was hurt, which is a good thing. And this is just a wonderful topic to start this week off with because this I find interesting. That an entire city's electrical grid was basically knocked down by one substation that was running on old, outdated equipment that they didn't get a chance to get to upgrade. Wonder if that's now jumped to priority 1. Either way, though, I highly want to congratulate and commend all the people who went through this. You did a very good job. You didn't panic. As far as I could tell, there were no talks of looting. It's very good. And for years, I really want to congratulate and commend the firefighters that went out there and did all this. That were helping out people. I ran with the fire company for a few years. I ran on a truck crew. And it is not easy when power goes out, because you will have people that will be screaming, they will be pissed, they will be angry, and if they're calling you up, it's never a good sign. So, yeah. But either way, congratulations to them. They did a bang-up job from what I could read on this. Kudos all around, basically. Congratulations to everybody. It's great that the power is restored, so they don't have to worry about it. So it's very, very good. But either way, shit happens. And that's just, damn. It's one of those weird moments there. Alright, so let's talk about Gundam Build Fighters. Oh, lovely anime series, by the way. I highly recommend watching it and the sequel, Build Fighters Try. Especially if you like model kits, which, like I said in the start of this, I finally got one. It's Wing Zero. I love that. I love that Gundam. But anyway, Build Fighters producer Masakazu Ogawa revealed in a Twitter post tagged with Gundam Build Fighters on Wednesday that one more special chapter is in the works. He expects to be able to make an official announcement in early May during Japan's Golden Week holiday. Or holidays, I should say. For those of you that don't know what Golden Week is, it's a time when a lot of things in Japan just kind of like stop or slow down. If you ever read Bakuman, they usually take a vacation during this time. They don't do any, the manga artists are still drawing shit. That's BS. They still draw. But they don't have to worry about deadlines. They don't have a lot of pressure on them. Sorry, I had to get a sip of my soda there. So it's really good. The Twitter account for the series had announced in April of 2015 that the franchise would get several OVA projects, but it has not revealed more information since that announcement. I know Build Fighters Try got a one standalone OVA. It was Island Wars, which really wasn't that bad. I saw that back when I was working third shift around the holidays. So it wasn't really that bad, but still. The first Build Fighters anime television series aired from October of 2013 to March of 2014, and Build Fighters Try followed up suit in October of 2014 and aired to April of 2015. So it's been 2 years. Holy shit. And the Gundam Build Fighters Try Island War television special aired in August 2016, but like I said, I only got around to seeing it in December of last year. Gundam.info streamed both series with the special with English subtitles as they aired in Japan, and Crunchyroll later added the two series streaming. Right Stuff released both on Blu-ray discs and DVD in North America last year. So if they're both out, I gotta track them down, because I only remember ever watching them on YouTube on the Gundam Info YouTube channel. So if they're out on DVD in North America from Right Stuff, I gotta find that. That's gonna jump on my list. At least see how much they're going for. But this is a good thing. I mean, first of all, I didn't realize it was 2 years. That really that threw me for a loop. Because I remember Christmas Eve, or the week before Christmas Eve 2014, I had a one-night temp job, which lasted one night. And I remember watching the Build Fighters Try episode, I think it was episode 12, I want to say. When basically both the main fighters on Team Tri Fighters got their ass whooped by one of the Gunpla Academy lackeys that was participating in the open tournament. He just completely screwed them, and the Beijing had to come in and take him on, and he was just kicking ass and taking names. I think it was episode 12. I'm not. I'll have to double check that, I guess, but I think it was episode 12. But I remember watching that, and I did not know it ended in April. I was following it every single week. Island Wars, though, wasn't too bad. It would be nice to see some more. I remember watching, I thought it was, because this is right after I heard this was announced, it was like a standalone Gundam Build Fighters thing. They had the model kits, and they were explaining about how everything happens and how everything works, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. I'm like, I could get behind this. And it was like a prequel to Build Fighters, which was really cool. So I'll have to try to see if I can find that again on YouTube to watch that. That was really cool. But it'd be nice if this is going to be like maybe a new series. I mean, that would be nice. I mean, we really need a third series in this. Because we've had the original. Then you had Build Fighters Try. How about Build Fighters Trio? Or Build Fighters Infinity? You know, have Reggie come back. Or better yet, have Reggie's kid come. Like, you know, Reggie and, God, her name escapes me at the moment. I just finished watching the original Build Fighters, and her name escapes me at the moment. She comes back. And they both had a kid. And the kids, you know, found a way to travel and make peace with Earth. And the kid wants to play in a Gunpla battle. And you have Sayori's kid. You have, you know, Kamiki. You know, you have Sekai's, you have Sekai coming there because he's still, like, in high school yet. You have him showing up. And they just all battle each other, and they try to go for, like, the top. You know, each one of them building a better, you know, Gundam model than the next. You know, that's what you got to see. And, you know, that would be neat for a third series, I think. But all in all, definitely something I'm looking forward to. Be in early May that whatever's going to be released is going to be released. At least the announcement, anyway. So come on, third season. Then again, I keep putting that down on Funimation's thing. Just, you know, random here. On a Funimation's thing every single time they have down. We have a big announcement coming up. I go, oh, you're finally going to finish Case Closed? And I never get a response. So, yeah. Alright. So, who out there remembers the Evagelion movies? Remember, hold on. I want to make sure I get the titles right here. But you have, like, Evangelion 1.11, You Cannot Undo. Hold on. I'm going to make sure I get this right here. Evangelion. No, I spelled it. Oh, you didn't even register half of it. And yeah. Gotta love when your freaking laptop keyboard doesn't want to respond to you when you type. It's like I can type faster than it can, but it doesn't want to respond. Okay. Alright, so here's the thing, though. While it's pulling up the information here. So, Studio Karahara is hiring animators for the fourth Evangelion film. It's long delayed. No shit. And it's finally moving forward. Oh, holy hell, it's a miracle. They've been hearing about it for the past few weeks that work on the latest long-delayed Evangelion film is progressing. And here's the surest sign yet. Karahara, the studio behind the film, is hiring animators. Well, yeah, that's definitely a good sign. Karahara updated, and I know I'm mispronouncing that, I apologize, updated its recruiting page on April 15th and is looking for in-between animators, animation runners, and staff members for its digital animation section. Like most studios, in-betweeners will be paid on a consignment basis, i.e. per completed frame plus 40,000 yen, which is around $370 flat monthly fee. Damn. I actually think I get paid more a month than that at my part-time job. Shit. Potential recruits are required to submit a design, sketch, illustration, everyday rough drawings, etc. that displays their skill, as well as a cover letter that describes what they are able to and want to do. Whoa, that could be mistranslated there a little bit. Not to sound a little insensitive, that could be misconstrued there a little bit. So what are you able to do and what do you want to do? Those invited for an interview are given a practical test. The deadline is the end of June, which means long-awaited fourth and final revival or renewal of Evangelion film is finally getting underway. Or it could just mean that they're cleaning house and changing everybody over, but who the hell knows? Okay, so here, I pulled it up now. I want to see, so name the films here. Okay. I really don't want that one. Where the hell is this other film here? Okay, here we go. Okay. September 9, 2016, Gainax confirmed a new animated film. This is off of Wikipedia, by the way. Called Rebuild of Evangelion, consisting of 4 movies. The first film retells the first 5 episodes from the series, but from the second film onward, the story is completely different, including new characters, Evas, and Angels. The first film was Evangelion 1.0, You Are Not Alone. Not in parentheses. Was released in Japan on September 1st, 2007. Hey! I graduated from high school in 2007. Evangelion 2.0, You Cannot Advance. And Evangelion 3.0, You Cannot Redo, released on June 27, 2009 and November 17th of 2012. The final film, titled Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, was said to be released in winter 2015, but a final release date is still unknown. It's still technically unknown, even though they're saying, oh, we're hiring new animators, but we still don't know what the hell we're doing. So, I mean, that kind of does open up the floodgates there. But I do remember watching the one on, I know Toonami had it up the one time on a Saturday night. It was really well done, really well made. And it's basically, Toonami had it up for the, I think it was like filler for that weekend. It was like Memorial Day weekend. It was like filler. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to watch this. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, I've already seen it. It was on YouTube. So I kind of watched it when it was on YouTube. I was like, nah, I kind of want to see this again. And I watched it. I liked it. It was a lot of fun. Definitely something I recommend getting, if possible. But still, not bad. All in all, though, as far as Ava films are concerned, it's one of those, it's a up and down sort of thing. I mean, it could be good, it could be bad, you never know. But still, it's worth a shot, nonetheless, to watch it. Plus, you can pull them up probably on like Crunchyroll, Hulu, YouTube, what have you. So, yeah, hopefully the fourth one will come out. We can finally close this chapter. And then while we're at it, why don't we finish up some other series that haven't been done yet? I mean, it's still sad, though, what they're going to be paying these people. But then again, I've already touched that in a previous podcast, that they get paid diddly shit. And it's sad that that's what they get paid. Well, you figure 40,000 yen, which is around $370. I'm sorry. That's their flat monthly fee, plus however frames are completed. That's like a consignment bonus. That's still kind of sad. If you think about it, that's still kind of sad. And, I mean, it's still kind of sad. Alright, so let's move on to another topic. This one's going to be manga related. Ooh, and it has to do with a very popular game. Ooh, I'm sensing big happiness. Yep, if you're a fan of Splatoon, well, you might want to pay attention to this. This is announced that Splatoon, manga, and more. That's right, they're making a manga. This weekend, Chicago Comic and Entertainment Expo event, aka C2E2. Hey, I like that. That sounds like a. It's a neat. That's a neat little acronym for it, but it kind of sounds like R2D2's renegade inner city cousin. Oh yeah. Okay, now you load. All right, here we go. Alright, it has been host to a few industry panels and announcements so far. Viz Media already held theirs, in which they revealed a handful of new manga licenses, including Sankichi Honey. I can't pronounce these people's names anymore. It's sad. Hinodaya's Splatoon manga, based on the third-person multiplayer shooter from Nintendo. I think Nintendo might want to have a few words to say about that, but sure, we'll go with that. In addition to Splatoon, Viz announced plans to release a couple Studio Ghibli picture books, namely Princess Mononoke and Castle in the Sky. As well as a Hello Kitty coloring book. Seriously? A Hello Kitty Oh, I gotta see. Oh my god, okay, they got pictures. Okay, I'm getting the pictures from Otaku USA Magazine. You can check out the article there. They actually have the picture of the Hello Kitty official coloring book. She's not even Japanese! Castle in the Sky picture book, Princess Mononoke picture book, and Splatoon manga. So that's gonna be kind of cool. I know Ian Ferguson over at the CU podcast is probably going to kick out of this. He's probably creaming his jeans right now on this. They're coming out with the Splatoon manga. Oh yeah, I'm loving that. I mean, damn, that's like really impressive there. Cool. So that's something to look forward to if you are a fan of Splatoon. Definitely something to look forward to. All right. So, while I search for my next topic here and all the other fun stuff that's happened, let me talk about a lovely little thing called the Power Rangers Legacy Wars. Yeah. Like I said at the start of the podcast, I finally got my hands on a tablet, and I downloaded the app, and I played the app. And I hate the app. Now, I went into it with an open mind. Because to me, it seemed like it was a Power Rangers version of Contest of Champions. At least, that's what I assumed. However, I'm not that lucky. And there's a reason for that. Unfortunately, it's nothing like what I thought it was going to be. The Power Rangers Legacy Wars is really, really lame. Okay, I'm saying this from my opinion too. So keep in mind, if I'm making this sound horrible, keep in mind it's my opinion of it. It's not very good to begin with, but still. So, how bad is this, you're asking? Well, kind of horrible. In order to attack, you can't just push the screen and hope that your character will punch the opponent. No, you're not that lucky. Why are you not that lucky, you ask? I have no idea. But apparently, you're not that lucky. Because what's going to end up happening is that your character is pretty much just going to stand there and do nothing. You have to wait until this power meter builds up in the center, in the bottom center of the screen. You have to wait until this power meter builds up, and then use that to quote unquote use the attacks. And each attack has a set number of power meter bars that it takes. Like basic attack would be like 3 bars or 2 bars, and more powerful ones are higher up down the road. And I was explaining this to my mom today. So I'm like, I'm really not a fan of this game. I got rid of it then right after I got a chance to play it. And I'm like, that was a waste of time. And as I'm explaining it to her, she goes, well, what's so bad about that? I said, it sucks. I said, it's basically like freemium games. Like all freemium games. I said, no, not all freemium games suck though, but you still have that whole little, it could be better sort of deal going for it. As I'm explaining this to her, then I'm using the example of, well, take Candy Crush, for example. Because her and I both play Candy Crush. Although I haven't played it a lot lately because I haven't really gotten a chance to play a lot of games on Facebook other than maybe like Pearl's Peril because I'm trying to build my island the way I want. But I really just don't have much of a chance to play that. I just go and like collect my energy and call it a day. But I'm explaining this to her like take Candy Crush for example. How you have the game, you're playing it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, this is really cool. And then you realize that you're burning through all the freebies they give you. Because with a freemium game, what they do is the first few levels are easy. To get your endorphin levels really high, make you feel really good about yourself. Like, I am the greatest gamer in the world. I just started playing this like 2 minutes ago, and I'm whooping ass and taking A's. I can beat anybody in this game and not even break a sweat doing it. And then all of a sudden reality just kind of like nails you in the balls. When all of a sudden you realize that you've blown through all the complimentary color bombs that they give you, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you enjoyed those color bombs? Yeah, we knew you were going to enjoy those. Oh, you used them all up though? Oh, not a problem. You can get more. Yeah. It's going to cost you like $5.99 though. But yeah, you can get more. Had to be we recommend it. See, that's how freemium games make their money. They get your endorphin levels high, then they basically make it to a point where you literally have no choice but to openly go, oh, I have to pay you. I can't not pay you. I need to pay you. I have no choice in the matter but to pay you. If I want to play this game, I have to pay. Or just stop playing and wait until my free stuff regenerates itself. Like the energy and stuff like that, which would be your best bet. Just wait like the day or the few hours. Step away from the console or the tablet or the computer and just, breathe and relax. But as far as this Power Rangers game is concerned, it sucks. They make it so that you unlock two of the characters, at least some of the characters I should say. But you can only unlock like 2 characters. You get one of them you can unlock in the tutorial, but it still costs you points and all that stuff. Then you get one that you can kind of unlock as you're finishing the tutorial. And if you're lucky, you'll end up getting another one. I ended up scoring 3. I unlocked Jason Lee Scott, the original Red Ranger, in the original form, by the way, not the crappy movie version. I unlocked Kimberly Hart from the original series, not the new movie version, and Catherine Hillard as Zeo Ranger Pink. So, I got Zeo Ranger 1 Pink, and then I had the Pink Ranger as the assist character, and then I had the yellow newer Ranger as another assist character, and I'm playing this and I'm like, this game sucks. You can't, tell it to just punch and kick your opponent, which would make much more sense. And the whole time in the back of my mind, I'm going, you know what? Screw this. I got one other game on here I can play instead of this. So then I booted up Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. That was one that I saw an ad for it online. I saw an ad for it when I went to the movies to see Dark Side of Dimensions, which was really good. I cannot stress that enough. It's on my DVD list now. For all freaking eternity is on my DVD list. So, what's hilarious though is that I saw this and I'm like, well, I don't have a tablet. So I really wanted to get a tablet so I could try to play that game. And I did. I got one. I downloaded it. I played it. And they don't even bother sugarcoating it for starters. They flat out come right out of the woodwork and have you take on inexperienced duelists. That's how you get ahead in this game. Because you have to build up X amount of points, and you have to, let the, game go on a little bit. beat the mission modes in it. I still have it. It's still a fun game, and I'm a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh, so I really, I really want to, enjoy this game. But then I'm just basically thinking the whole time, like, okay, so why am I taking on really inexperienced kids? And I don't know if it's my skill level in real life or the skill level of the game, which I'm going for the game, because I'm playing as Yami Yugi. That's the character I picked. It was either that or Seto Kaiba. I'm going with Yugi. I'm sorry. I'm not an egomaniac like Seto Kaiba. I don't have an ego complex. So I'm playing as Yugi, and all of a sudden it's like, well, this is a lot of fun, but at the same time, I'm like, it's fun, but there's no challenge. I mean, the only amount of life points I ever lost was when Joey Wheeler damaged me a little bit with the spell card. That was it. Otherwise, it's me literally whooping ass and taking names, and it was just starting to get on my last nerve. But I'm like, you know what? I can still play it. But it's definitely the borderline of a freemium game. And I was explaining that to my mom then, too. It's like, well, yeah, this is the other one I was playing. And she's like, oh, well. And it's like, oh, yeah, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, freemium games are fun, but they're still a pain in the ass in the long run because you don't know why they're... Well, you know why they're free. You know how they're going to make money. And it's just funny about that. I mean, it's just weird. Alrighty. Q&A time here on the podcast. Professor, you done crying in the fetal position in the corner?
Yes, I'm done. I've been done for quite some time. I was just over there figuring out the philosophical reasons as to why I was doing that.
It wouldn't happen to be for the fact that the evil warlord from the dark versions of the internet and the humanity's evilness came in here and tried to take over the podcast, would it?
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. But anyway, Andrew, let's get into the questions. If you don't mind if I take care of them, do you?
Oh, no, be my guest. I can stand here and get some soda, I guess.
Oh, thank you very much. So, our first question comes from... Oh, yeah, that's right. Can't do...
Yeah, no names, Professor. Come on. Anonymity. Remember, we're like the Men in Black. Anonymity is your name. Silence your native tongue.
Yes. So, one of the questions is actually for me. Oh, no, never mind. It's for you. I'm sorry. It's for you. Dear Andrew, what is it what's one thing that you really hate when it comes to action figures or toys? Since you seem to sell some of them and talk about them a lot. At least on Twitter and or on YouTube.
Oh, well, some of the stuff that bugs me about that is, like, if the figure's really crappy. Like, the articulation's way wrong for it. The old Irwin Dragon Ball Z toys are a good example of this. Because they had really bad articulation. The arms only moved in a 180-degree circle. You couldn't bend them outward. When Jack Specific took over, they gave him a little more range of movement. Although Irwin did, I will admit this, Irwin did extend it out a little bit where you could move the shoulder up, and it kind of gave you a little extra realm of articulation, as in it could go outward a little bit on an angle, but still it wasn't as fun. The elbows didn't move, but the knees did. I mean, it's not that difficult to make knees and elbows that move. I mean, seriously. So, later figures were pretty good, but that's one thing that I definitely try to go for if I'm ever looking for action figures. The articulation of it. If the legs don't move right, or the arms don't move right, or the body doesn't move right, I don't want it. It's one of the main things I always dig around for at yard sales and flea markets, is that if I'm looking at action figures, I'm looking like, okay, well, can I see this thing moving? You know, does it look like it has a decent range of mobility? No? Okay, then forget it. It isn't worth it then. It's not worth my time and effort. And that's pretty much how it goes. So that's sort of the stuff that annoys me with that. But then you also have like miscolorings, really crappily painted faces or completely off paint jobs on them. Stuff like that. So basically everything normal, I guess you could say. What about you, Professor? You bought a few action figures. Collectibles, Andrew, collectibles. Yes, I have. I kind of agree with you on that, though, too. Because if the paint job on it's ugly looking, nobody's going to want to look at it, including yourself. And I, for one, strive to find the best of the best. Now, occasionally, though, I have no choice because it could be an error, and that makes it extremely rare. Yes, like the errored Vegeta figure from the Irwin toys that was basically a black-haired version of Majin Vegeta, which never happened. Oh, yes, yes. And didn't you find one of those recently on eBay? There was one selling on eBay, and it went for like maybe $7 or $8. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this person really doesn't know what they have. I kind of I tried my damnedest to separate them from it and buy it. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Take the loss on it, you little sucker. I don't care. Well, you just full of heart. All right, Professor. Let me read the next question here. This is the last question anyway, so we did one apiece. What is my favorite type of Yu-Gi-Oh deck? Am I a person that likes to burn my opponent's deck, or am I a person that likes to strengthen my own field? Well, actually, it would depend. See, I kind of like to build a deck with a mixture of everything. I don't believe in the structure deck style like Konami usually gives out. You could have 3 of one card in a deck per rules, unless it's limited or forbidden. God forbid, we just got that list out like near the end of last month. But still, some of those cards are a little weird. So let's say you want to have 3 of one card in, that's fine. That's something that I would do for like an effect deck or something. Like, let's say I want to make a deck that would do effect damage, burn damage, stuff like that. And it's an effect deck as far as I'm concerned. It's using the effects of either spell cards, trap cards, or monsters. So having 3 of those isn't exactly a bad thing, because it makes it easier for you to draw one of them to kind of get the ball rolling. But as far as like type of decks that I like to use, I'm not really a big fan of deck burning. Though I do have a deck. I should say I didn't make. I do have a deck that I constructed that does kind of do that. I'm more of a fan of Xyz summoning. I always liked that. I always liked the idea of Xyz summoning. I thought that was one of the best concepts they ever did. In fact, that's what I swore when I heard about these new Link monsters, that was what it was going to be. Like the next level of Xyz summoning, where you just stack the monsters underneath the Link monster, and the Link monster gains the effects of those monsters. So like if it would be 3 effect monsters, whatever their effect is the effects that the Link monster would have. Or like let's say it was you had to do like a fusion, like 2 fusion monsters to make a Link monster. Then it would be, considered a Link/fusion monster, and gain fusion, the ability to use cards that can only be targeted to fusion monsters, like a fusion weapon or stuff like that. Same thing with like rituals. You could even do Xyz. Requires 3 Xyz monsters. 1, 2, 3. And then, they can be used for like Xyz cards. And all cards that would affect like Xyz monsters. It's still a double-edged sword either way, but it's a lot better than what it was. But what this is something I'm not really a fan of. But no, I guess the type of deck that I usually like to play is just a standard fun deck. I always like to model mine in the style of how would Yugi play this. Because, let's face it, Yugi was the greatest duelist that ever lived, and nobody will ever take his throne as the king of games. Nobody. Guarantee you he will die with that title, and no one will ever be able to take it. They'll have to retire it for him alone. So, yeah, I kind of just like a deck that I can build myself. So, there's that. All right. That's it for the questions, Professor. Professor.
Oh, yes, Andrew.
That's it for the questions. So, anything you'd like to say?
No, not really. There's just so many things in the day that can go wrong, Just about everything. And I'm kind of busy over here at the moment.
Yeah, what exactly are you doing anyway?
I'm creating a. Never you mind.
All right, Professor. Never float your boat. So, I guess that's going to be it then for the podcast this week. Yeah, it's kind of a short podcast. Huh. I apologize if it seemed phoned in. I don't feel like it was, but it may have been to you. I apologize if it was. But I promise they get better and better. I mean, I'm doing the best I can. I'm a one-man operation here.
Two-man.
One-man operation.
Two, I'm here too. Klump is in charge from time to time.
Yes, Professor. So anyway, I guess it's going to do it this week. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up early. Shit. All right. So, yeah, this kind of works out because then I can get to work on my little model kit here before I go to bed. So, as always, if you have any ideas for the podcast, any things you'd like to improve, or that you think I can improve upon, send me an email or tweet to me. You can tweet me at Otaku Roads on Twitter, or you can send an email to, all lowercase by the way, acrpodcast@gmail.com. You can also, if you want, if you have like a topic or something that you think would work out well for the podcast, send it here to acrpodcast@gmail.com. If you would like to maybe sponsor the podcast, I mean, you never know. I could eventually get better and better and, may help out. As of right now, I get like maybe 3 views a week, 2 to 3 views if I'm lucky. I get more views from my Andrew Rants videos, apparently, and I don't know why. But yeah, so, check it out. If you want to, send me an email at acrpodcast@gmail.com. If you just want to say hi, you can tweet to me. You can follow me on Twitter, too, by the way. I usually post up when I'm recording the podcast. So it's every Saturday, unless otherwise stated, in case I can't make it on a Saturday or have to cancel for 1 week. So far, I haven't had to do that. Just had to rearrange it one day, and that was back in November, which was fine. Nobody had a problem with that. So, yeah, shoot me an email. Shoot me a tweet. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like the video, too, by the way, if you get a chance. And like I said, it's going to wrap it up this week, man. We're going to be wrapping this up early. All right, so then, for the absolutely completely random podcast, I'm Andrew Rhodes. Professor, anything to say?
Yes, I'm Professor Sherman T. Klump. Currently taking care of my little secret project over here.
Any idea what it is, or am I going to have to wait till next week?
Yeah, you're going to have to wait.
Yeah, all right, Professor, whatever you say. So yeah, anyway, as for the absolutely completely random podcast, I'm Andrew Rhodes, thanking everybody out there for listening, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye, and goodbye. Have a nice week, everybody. Happy Earth Day, by the way.